The guy in the center is Sifu Jerry. That's Qilala's Wing Chun coach. The Xingyi guy with the spear is demonstrating how certain Xingyi spear techniques can translate into bare hands. So this guy, Philip, is also a Wang Shangliang lineage Wing Chun guy. So this is compliance, right? So obviously looks very impressive. You can already tell that Sifu Jerry looks very, very skeptical, right? Notice he circled, right? This technique only seems to work if you don't circle. So now look at that. He gets pushed, man. That was a little personal. And remember, compliance just always looks so impressive. But how do you think it's going to look when they're testing it? Pressure testing it. Here we go. Sifu Jerry's now giving him some pressure. Look at this. It's much harder when you don't let him grab you and manipulate you, right? So yeah, again, look at that. Sifu Jerry's always connecting, just showing, look, I can get you. Look at that. Master got nothing, none of his spear techniques. Sifu Jerry getting serious, man, taking off his glasses. Shadow viewer Elenkus. Elenkus told me about this. So, what happened to the spear techniques? What happened to those spear techniques that you were talking about earlier? Why can't you get Sifu Jerry? So yeah, Sifu Jerry, Wang Shangliang lineage, right? Oh, look at that. He added in a kick. He changed the rules. Look at that. Look at that. And then Sifu Jerry, props to him, calling it off before it gets into a real fight. Hey guys, Jerry from Fight Commentary Breakdowns here. We already covered a match from this episode of Kung Fu Quest. And a lot of you mentioned that this might be the Sifu Jerry that Qilala trains under. I checked with Qilala and he confirmed with me. This is one of his coaches. He also trains under Francis Lam. And then of course he has a separate coach for Xingyi Liu Heque. This is one of his main coaches. Before the sparring session covered, they were visiting some Xingyi masters and learning about how the forms of Xingyi, especially the spear forms, could potentially translate into the bare hands. The specific guy that Sifu Jerry spars already has some noticeable issues in his form. First thing you can notice is that he leans forward a lot, man. You saw that in the Tai Chi push hands master that we visited many years ago. There's this weird leaning, like their body's like this sometimes. And then there's also the assumption that you don't know how to circle, which Sifu Jerry showed very clearly. If I circle, you're not going to be able to do your technique. And then, of course, the guy just shoves him next time. And then the third thing, of course, is the guy at the very end, when Sifu Jerry thought they were just trading hands, the guy adds in a kick to be like, see, I got you. Oh my God. Let's watch this in slow motion and let's analyze. Okay, guys. So right here, right, this is when Sifu Jerry realizes, okay, I got to show you. And I got to really test you. So I love the little pause. And immediately he gets into like collar tie clinch just to show him, you come in, I could control your neck. Also, from my understanding, they do a lot of neck strikes and stuff like that, right? So it might be like a brachial type of strike from his Wing Chun training. Look at that. He takes off his glasses. You know he's getting serious. And notice, he has that standard Wing Chun stance, right? Look at that. Lots of attacks to the neck. The Xingyi guy has nothing. What happened to all your spear utilization? Look at that. I will say the Xingyi guy should not play Sifu Jerry's game, right? I don't know why he's playing this like patty cake game. I guess that's why he kicked. He's like, okay, well, I'm not going to play your game. Okay, so maybe it's not completely cheating the rules. It cracks me up so much that the guy had to throw in a kick, a little shovel kick at the end. It's like he had to save face, right, for those of you who know that concept. And I like Sifu Jerry. You can tell he's not afraid to call out people who's never been pressure tested. Again, I am not saying that Xingyi doesn't have validity, but you have to be careful the people demonstrating to you. If they've never been able to prove any of this stuff under pressure, maybe they're not your best coach. And that's what Sifu Jerry showed in this. And now you guys know why Qilala is very formidable. When he trained, he had Sifus who were very, very adamant about, you got to make sure your stuff works. I will ask Qilala if I can interview Sifu Jerry. I don't know if Sifu Jerry speaks Mandarin because all of his videos, by the way, he has a channel, so go check out his channel. His videos are all in Cantonese. So there might be a communication barrier between us. But if he does speak Mandarin, I'll interview Sifu Jerry. That would be so cool. So guys, how about we interview Sifu Jerry? What do you guys think? Okay, guys, follow Qilala too, okay? I will link his channel. Fight Commentary Breakdowns out.